Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from WesKnows Tech News and Reviews. So today we'll be discussing the best well-kept secret of 2021. Yes, we'll be talking about the AMAZFIT GTR 3 Pro. So this smartwatch is actually cheaper than the Huawei Watch 3, than the Samsungs of this world, than the Apple Watch, and many other sport watches and smartwatches out there. But its capability, its accuracy is wow. It is so good. And we've got the heart rate test, the step test, and the GPS tests to prove that. And I'll share the links to those videos with you at the end of this video. But in this particular review, we'll be talking about the top 10 features of this amazing smartwatch, the AMAZFIT GTR 3 Pro. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if you have been watching other videos on this particular channel, then you would have noticed that we talked about the GTR 3 as well as the 3 Pro. Also, I've actually posted a video that describes and explains the differences between the GTR 2, so the previous model, the GTR 3, as well as the 3 Pro. There are quite some differences, especially between the 3 and the 3 Pro. So if you were thinking of upgrading from the GTR 2, don't do it for the GTR 3. Make sure to do it for the GTR 3 Pro. But I'll leave a link just above me right now for you to go to that video and look at the comparison in detail. Anyway, let's talk about the top 10 features of the GTR 3 Pro. And these 10 features make it, well, I would say, the best value smartwatch of 2021. And the way things are looking on the market right now, I would say that it will probably be the best value smartwatch of 2022 as well. So first of all, let me do a quick recap of the GTR 3 Pro. What does it do? What does it look like? And then we'll get into the top features. So first of all, it is a round watch. It's rather thin. It's just 10.7 millimeters high on top of your wrist, and that is exactly the same height as was the GTR 2. Also, it's a 46 millimeter case, so it is rather large. And if you have a smaller wrist, then you're probably best to go for the GTS, which is more square and sort of lies flat and slightly curves around your wrist. The GTR 3 Pro does look great, and because you do have the quick release straps on it plus a metal watch type clasp, it looks classy. But at the same time, if you're not happy with the silicone strap, it's just as easy for you to go out there and get a third-party strap, be it leather, steel, or whatever you may like. What makes the GTR 3 Pro stand out from the rest of the bunch is the amount of features it offers. And some of the main ones we'll cover in just a moment. But some of the generic ones, well, it is waterproof. 5 ATM waterproof. It's got a lot of sport modes. It's got multiple connectivity options. So you do have Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth. You do get inbuilt storage. You get inbuilt Alexa. You get continuous SpO2 monitoring. You get a huge full HD resolution. Like, this thing has so much to offer. It even measures your body temperature, but we'll get onto it in just a moment. So as you can see, this watch is packed with very expensive, very premium features, and you're getting this watch for its full price at £189 or 190 or just under 200 bucks. But I've actually seen it on discounts on Amazon, on AliExpress, and just generally on the web. You can get it for as low as £120 today or about 140 bucks, which is an excellent value proposition. Anyways, now I think we're ready to get into the top features which make this watch the best value deal of 2021 and potentially 2022. Let's do it. Firstly, I would like to talk about the display, because this is the watch face. This is what everybody, including yourself, will be looking at. The fact is, this display is 1.45 inches. For a round display, this is the largest, the absolutely largest display you can get on the market today. So this display of 1.45 inches is larger than the previous AMAZFIT GTR 2, it's larger than the GTR 3, it's larger than the Huawei Watch 3, as well as the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. So this watch is huge, 1.45 inches, but it's not just larger, it obviously has more pixels as well. So if we're used to the market norm of 326 ppi, that's 454 by 454 pixels on the usual 1.39 inch displays, this one has 480 by 480 pixels, giving us a total PPI of 331. This is the highest round watch spec on the market today. Number 2, GTR 3 Pro. Well, actually, as well as the GTR 3, do offer continuous SpO2 monitoring, aka blood oxygen saturation. What does this mean? Well, you know that quite a lot of the smartwatches, sport watches out there, they do offer spot readings of your SpO2, aka blood oxygen saturation. But if you have spot readings, that means you actually have to sit down, relax, click or tap your screen to start measurement of your SpO2 levels. But that kind of functionality will not be able to warn you or spot things like sleep apnea, because you need to be asleep to measure your SpO2. Now, continuous SpO2 can actually do it, because while your body is at rest, measurements which are automatic are happening periodically and actually giving you a trend of your SpO2 over time. And this is the metric that you need to identify or warn you of some kind of respiratory condition you may be having. So if previously continuous SpO2 would be only available on premium sport and smartwatches, well, you get this with the AMAZFIT GTR 3 as well as the 3 Pro. Now, number 3 is great because this is all about interactivity. And the GTR 3 Pro has both a microphone as well as a speaker on the watch. What that means is that you can not only sound your alarms, play music, you can also take calls right off your wrist, because you can hear the other person speaking as well as you can speak into the microphone on your wrist. Of course, there's no LTE version, so there's no eSIM in the watch, but as long as your watch is connected via Bluetooth with your smartphone, you can actually take calls off your wrist. And we've tested the sound quality. It's great, both for you to hear the other person on the line as well as for the other person to hear you, because the speaker and the mic do work really well. Even if you listen to music, it's also as if you're playing it on your smartphone. It's that good. Number 4 is music storage. So we just mentioned that you do have a speaker. Well, the fact is, on the GTR 3 Pro, you get music storage. On the GTR 3, you don't. So make sure that if you do want to download music to your smartwatch, you will have to get the 3 Pro. You get 4 GB, about 1.6 to 1.7 GB will get used up by system files, but the rest of it, about 2.3 GB, will be left for you to play around with, to download faces, to download photos, and of course your audio media. So when you are running or training and you didn't take your smartphone with you, you can be actually listening to your audio. Number 5 is all about your health. Well, the fact is, you get a smartwatch not just for the smarts in the watch, not just for the connectivity options. You want a smartwatch that will be able to accurately measure your health stats or your health metrics. And the most important metric that you do get is the optical heart rate sensor on the back of the smartwatch. So the GTR 3 as well as the 3 Pro actually have a new BioTracker. This is the BioTracker version 3.0, and this is different to the 2.0 that was found on the previous versions. So the GTR 2, the GTR 2E, as well as the GTS 2 and the 2E. Now, if you recall or have been watching the previous tests, I'll actually leave a link to them just above me right now, and that's to the GTS and the GTR 2. you will have noticed that the BioTracker was not great. Lots of functionality on the smartwatches, but the heart rate accuracy was lacking. Even though AMAZFIT did release quite a few upgrades and updates, still the BioTracker 2.0 was not great. Full stop. Now with the GTR 3 and the 3 Pro, BioTracker 3.0 is absolutely awesome. Now I was comparing the GTR 3 as well as the 3 Pro heart rate accuracy versus the Polar H10 ECG chest strap, which is on my chest in every exercise I did, be it boxing in the park, playing tennis, or running, even just workouts at the gym. And always the GTR 3 Pro as well as the GTR 3 would show results that were almost unbelievable. The variance versus the Polar H10 ECG chest strap would be within 1 or 2%. That is absolutely great, and I haven't seen such accuracy even on way more expensive smartwatches as well as sport watches. For number 6, I would like to mention Pi. Pi is the personal activity index. So you would see this statistic on basically any Xiaomi as well as AMAZFIT sport watches, smartwatches, and trackers. This PAI, the Pi, is one of the best metrics available on a smartwatch. No other manufacturer does it. And what is Pi? So this is basically a single value metric which tells you quite a lot about your cardiovascular health. It takes into account your steps, the activities you've been doing over the last 7 days, and the intensity of those activities. So how hard were you particularly putting out there while you were playing tennis, basketball, running, walking, jogging, or whatever you were doing? And the general rule of thumb is that as long as your Pi score is above 100 points, you are 20% less prone to getting heart disease. As for number 7, I would like to track back to BioTracker 3.0, because with the BioTracker 3.0, with this new and improved optical heart rate sensor on the back of the GTR 3 as well as the GTR 3 Pro, the manufacturer is saying that now the watch can actually measure your underwater heart rate. Now I didn't test that myself, but I will be doing that in upcoming weeks. But with the heart rate accuracy that we've seen during the normal exercises, not including water, I wouldn't be surprised that maybe this watch can actually do what the manufacturer is claiming. Number 8, sport modes. 150 of them. Have you heard of this many sports modes on any other watch? I haven't. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there saying, well, who cares about the number of sport modes? Well, I can say it does matter, because every single sport mode has a different model in place for measuring the amount of calories you're actually burning. And in my heart rate tests, I've actually found with watches like Samsung, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2, when I was trying to record a tennis game, there is no tennis. I had to use the aerobic mode. If I'm using Fitbit, also they have very few sport modes available. Now with 150 sport modes, you got basically everything covered. Now number 9 with the AMAZFIT GTR 3 and the 3 Pro is the battery size, as well as the charging. So both watches actually support wireless charging. But if the GTR 3 has a claimed life of 21 days on a single charge, the GTR 3 Pro claims 14 days. Now, I don't quite agree with the 14 days because I've been testing the GTR 3 extensively, and I can say that it does last you anywhere between 7 and 8 to 9 days, but that's with extensive usage, including always on display. Now, that is still amazing. Consider Samsung. If you get 1.5 days out of that, you are lucky. Here you've got at least a full week, but usually it's a week plus some more. And now number 10, the cherry on top, and that is of course built-in Alexa. So this is great. This is a fun option to have on your smartwatch, and it's not just fun, it's actually extra useful because you can record your alarms just by talking with Alexa. You can ask for a joke, you can ask for the weather, you can ask for directions, you can basically record your shopping list on there. Having Alexa on your wrist at all times is so useful, especially when you're used to referring to your online assistants. Anyways, I do hope that you found these top 10 features of the GTR 3 Pro, and in some cases with the GTR 3, very useful. If you have, please drop me a like. If you do want to see more of the tests that we have performed with the GTR 3 and the 3 Pro, if you want to look at the comparison video between the GTR 2, 3 and the 3 Pro, then please make sure to hit the subscribe button below the video and watch the links that I've left at the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.